that's not the lane I'm in. The lane that we are gonna be talking about is food grade CBD, which is from hemp. It's grown in a different way. Actually, it's typically grown outside. The plants get to be about, 18 feet? I mean, they're huge. Unlike marijuana, they are not a hot, eco challenging plant. They can be grown anywhere. And I believe what we'll see in the next couple of years with the farming hemp bill that got passed is more and more farmers are gonna grow it like a crop, and they're gonna rotate it between corn and whatever else. I'm sorry, I'm not a farmer, but they'll rotate the crops.
So it's gonna be farmed on monocrop acreage?
I believe we're gonna see it. I believe we're gonna see that in the next couple of years.
That sounds like a good thing.
I believe if it's done in a responsible manner, that yes, it would be.
Okay.
If people are gonna start farming in the old tobacco fields where you've got, we'll call it less than optimal soil, dirty soil, you could have dirty soil in terms of chemicals or pesticides or herbicides,
right there, yeah.
you know, you're gonna get a dirty plant.
Right.
One of the things that are great about Hale in particular is where they source. I spent 6 months before I allowed any CBD product into Healthy Habits. I will tell you, I'm a certified natural health practitioner, and I have an autistic daughter, I have an aging mom, and I have we'll call her a artist genius who, like Picasso, can, potentially cut her ear off if she's, too agitated. So I have these challenges of people that I love dearly and I support. I've been doing alternative health and wellness since my oldest daughter was about 3, which means I've been doing it for over 25 years. A lot of people say I don't look old enough to have a daughter that old, and I say thank you very much. I actually try to apply to myself what I know, and part of that is continuing to learn and continuing to seek out the best of what's available currently to myself and to you. So now that we have defined what swim lane we're in, so to speak, a quality environment to grow the plant gives you, a quality plant. A quality seed gives you a quality plant. Now we'll say that we have the production. When you process and pull out the CBD oil, there's 3 major types of processes. One is a solvent-based. Now, solvent-based actually is not that bad in the marijuana lane. It actually does some things with the THC, it neutralizes it, but if you have that solvent being applied to pull out the CBD in food grade hemp, it actually is difficult to pull out all the solvent, just because the plants are not the same. They're genetically not the same. What happens with a solvent-based production of the CBD, last year 52 adults went to the emergency room. And it wasn't from the CBD, it was from the solvents that remained. And the people were affected. Of course, the FDA came in and closed that company, as they should. But still, it's a process that I don't agree with. So none of the CBD in Healthy Habits is processed that way. None of the companies that are in Healthy Habits come from a dirty source. They come from Colorado, or they come from Norway. They come from a clean land, clean air. The other way to process CBD oil is a heat-based. When that happens, there's 114 phytocannabinoids that potentially could be affected. There is 20 amino acids in the CBD oil, which is one thing that you don't hear a lot of, that I'm really, it just excites me so much, because when you pair amino acids with other things that the body heals from, the body heals faster. With that heat process, you do destroy some of the amino acids and some of the endocannabinoids. So I look for a cold pressed process. Hale does that. So I have a lot of confidence. Certificate of analysis, a third party goes in, they look at the CBD oil, they come back and they say, here's what we tested and here's what we found. And being a third party, they're not, it's not the company saying this is what we are. It's an actual independent laboratory that says, this is what we found, this is what we report. And so by looking at that, I also can see when they test for the THC, that it's a very low amount. So that's my criteria in terms of a high quality product. That being said, we have carried now CBD over a year. It's been about a year and a half. And I have had only 3 companies in Healthy Habits. And I have put Hale as my top shelf CBD, given their dedication to raising clean plants. They have been working diligently towards actually creating a hemp plant that is less than 0.03% THC. So by definition, so just like oranges have vitamin C and grapefruit have vitamin C and limes have vitamin C, you get vitamin C, but they're different plants, right? So you can get CBD, you can this incredible, wonderful, powerful molecule called CBD. You can get it from marijuana, you can get it from hemp, you can actually get it from rosemary. So it's a component in different plants. It's just when they discovered it in marijuana, and marijuana has a lot of it. What's great is they also find it in food grade quality hemp, and there's a lot of it, so it's a great molecule in it. So when they test for the THC, you will find tiny traces of it, and by FDA law regulation, hemp has to be less than 0.03, whereas marijuana is typically, what is it? When they test for 5 THCs. So 0.03 versus, so a 0.5 will actually give you a positive on a drug test. So there's a lot of difference between the two. Questions? I'm sorry, I'm talking and I really love to get.
So do you get the same benefits?
There's different benefits. So what's really interesting is in some cases, and I'm not going to say there's no benefit with the medical marijuana. There are some cases where that little bit of THC does something in the brain that helps the CBD molecule effectively cross the blood-brain barrier and effectively do additional things for some people. In my experience, which again has only been about a year and a half, so consider it pretty limited, I have found that like 95% of all people benefit from the food grade CBD, that they don't that person doesn't require that little bit of THC. Okay. So for most people, you don't need it. The thing with THC, it's addictive. And so what that means is when you have a molecule that actually literally binds to the brain receptors, opioids bind, alcohol,
you start
nicotine,
depending on,
marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of it binding, so everybody's got this picture.
You miss sugar.
Sugar. So when you everybody's got this little image here. So what is great is CBD is represented by a circle, and so it can fit in multiple brain receptors. This is ever so cool, ever so powerful. So think about a teeter-totter balancing. I have to show things, I draw things, I make pictures in the air. So let's say you've got a teeter-totter, and when you have something that's addictive, the body gets out of balance and it craves a certain molecule. What's so interesting about CBD is if the body's out of balance, it will actually help hinder the production of this type of molecule and create that type of molecule, and so it'll come into balance. So the different molecules that we're talking about is, when we're looking at this, serotonin here at the end. So does anybody know what in the brain, what this is creating? Anybody?
Serotonin,
Yeah, what's it creating?
well-being,
Helps you sleep,
a sense of well-being.
well-being, relaxation,
So
peace.
You know, I
So-
like to study that.
So what happens is if it's out of balance and the person's not making enough serotonin, the body will actually front load over here so that it makes more serotonin and bring it into balance. So same difference. The next one over here is dopamine. Does anybody know what we use dopamine for? Dopamine gives us focus. Dopamine gives like attention. And so when you talk about people who have A personalities and they're always like, what's the next step and what's the next step? They have a lot of dopamine going on there. So, and so when that gets out of balance, a lot of dopamine's being created.
That's you?
And so it changes it, and it lessens the production of dopamine, and it helps the well-being come into play. Another receptor, the opioid. So it's called the opioid receptor because it was discovered via the opioid, the opiums, and so it was named after that. But that's really our pain receptors. And so what can happen is, like people with amputation, we were sometimes Vietnam vets or people in accidents, they have phantom pain. Well, what's happening is the pain receptors are going off, and they're saying there's pain, there's pain, there's pain. And you actually have to retrain the brain to balance those receptors so that the brain doesn't think, because it's lacking information from the limb, and so it interprets that, and it creates a sense of pain to try to figure out what that stimulus or lack of stimulus is happening. Then the last one is the cannabinoids, which was discovered with the marijuana, the CBD cannabinoid. Marijuana is part of the cannabis family, as is hemp is part of the cannabis family, just like, you know, you have all sorts of potatoes or you have all sorts of apples, you know, it's all part of the family, but they're different. So CBD is a cannabinoid plant, and that actually has a wonderful effect in the brain and in our immune system, and it's so much so that I sometimes call it the Boy Scout molecule. And the reason is because it goes where it's needed. If you need to relax and decrease anxiety, it'll go in that area of the brain. If you need it to focus, so for kids who need it to focus, you know, taking it in the morning before school, they'll be calmer and they'll be more focused. So it's just a great tool to add to help us balance in this world that's, you know, kind of sometimes out of balance. Questions before I? So we talked about what swim lane we're in, food grade swim lane. We talked about what as a molecule it does, how it balances. So far, have I lost anybody? Yeah.
So Susan, so you can use it for children
Yes.
all the way through
Right.
adult?
Great question. I'll jump into dosage for that.
This?
So what
Just like this,
happens?
yeah.
What happens?
I think so.
Just like any food product, the body's
girls
gonna
are so
utilize it
big.
if it needs it, and it
Your
will
girls
just
have grown
let it
up
pass
so-
through if it doesn't.
My gosh.
there was a great, so if you're taking notes, you could write this down, www.pubmed.com. It's a resource that I use a lot. So it's short for published medical research. So you can go to PubMed and you can get Lancet or American Psychology or I don't know, anything from A to Z in terms of what's being published across all the medical journals. They are peer reviewed. They have great studies, double-blind placebo effects. So it's a great place to get information. So they did a study on dosage, and they went from 2 milligrams. Jack, what's a 1 dose? What's your least dose? What do you got?
The least?
Yeah, your least
It's in
dose.
the,
Oh,
Is it a 400
it's
milligram?
600.
it's on the dropper.
You don't have 400? It's a 600?
The 600 and 1200.
Okay, so
Unless you want the
600.
PET for 125.
Okay, so if you were to do the math, a 600 milligram bottle is going to give you about 3 milligrams per dose. So a little bit, just a hint more. If my math is right, if anybody wants to figure that out and correct me, please do so. So it's about 3 milligrams, but in the study we started at 2 milligrams, that was the base, and it went all the way up to 2,000 milligrams for an adult. That was what was in the study. What they wanted to know was, what are the side effects if you take too much? Is that not a valid question?
Yes, it is.
And what happens when you take too much? So what they found was here at this end, as you can imagine, they didn't see any side effects. They went all the way up to the 2,000. What they found was very placebo-like. A little bit of more sleepiness. There was a few people who had a little bit more trips to the bathroom. But in general, between sleepiness and needing an extra trip or 2 to the bathroom, they found no side effects. So why is that? Well, if the body utilizes it as a basic building component, it's sending it to different areas. So on a daily basis, we detox 90% down the toilet, urine and feces. 1% out through our lungs, carbon dioxide, and 9% out through our skin. If we take in something that we can't eliminate or neutralize, it builds up. And that's what happens with side effects. When something creates side effects, it's because the body can't get rid of it, it can't neutralize it, so it has to store it. And after a certain time, after storing so many chemicals, then we start seeing side effects. So the great thing is, we're not seeing any side effects from CBD oil. Now, the question is, why? Good grief, why wouldn't we see any side effects if someone's taking 2,000 milligrams? I mean, does it not blow your mind? It's like, why? So the reason, and this was not in the study, this is my own pondering. So take it, leave it, throw it out. If it makes sense, ponder it, research it, but don't take my word for it because I didn't do any studies. It's just my personal opinion. And I'm only certified. I'm not licensed. So as a certified person, you don't have to listen to me anyway. It's okay.
Bye-bye. No. Just play.
It's all okay. So what's interesting is CBD has all 20 amino acids. Who's heard of amino acids? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, good. Like practically everybody's heard of an amino acid. So we have, anytime the medical community throws essential in front of something, like an essential fatty acid would be an omega-3. Well, an essential amino acid would be like L-lysine. So L-lysine is what L-lysine is an amino acid that the body uses to fight viruses, specifically shingles, herpes. And if you don't have it, it takes you longer to get over it. So of the 20 amino acids, guess what? There's 9 essential amino acids, which means 11 we make ourselves from the food we eat. How cool is that? We just eat something and we make our own little factory ingredients. But there's 9 essential amino acids that we don't make. And that means we have to eat something specific to pull that amino acid out so that we can utilize it. So how cool is it that CBD oil has all 20, the ones we make and the ones we don't make? And this is why this person here may be rebuilding cartilage with their CBD oil. This person here may be using it for insomnia. It allows them to sleep. And this person here is using it for pain. This person over here is using it for attention and focus. Because each one of these things requires a different set of amino acids. This person over here who's rebuilding cartilage, it takes 4. There's 4 essential amino acids that if they're not getting, the cartilage starts to break down. It doesn't repair itself. After XYZ amount of time, you now get bone on bone because you're not giving the living cartilage enough to rebuild itself. Isn't that, like, shouldn't we all know this stuff? How cool is that? How cool is that? So by having something that's giving you all 20 amino acids, you're giving your body basic tools to build itself. So oftentimes with my clients, I'll pair it with things. If someone has a little osteoporosis problem, I'll pair CBD oil with calcium because the body's going to utilize that CBD and the amino acid portions. So it's going to drop inflammation, it's going to drop pain, it's going to increase the basic building blocks for the body to repair. How cool is that? It's amazing. I can't tell you how many times I have people come back to me and say, finally for the first time in 3 years, I feel good. Finally for the first time in 17 years, I've slept through the night. Finally for the first time, my face is clearing up. It's just really great. I mean, it keeps me doing what I'm doing. So, questions so far, because I think I'm like, I don't want to be too medical, but I want to go too fast because I don't want to lose anybody. Everyone's good? Good?
Yeah.
Good?
I have a question. So, with this chart here, the hemp oil touches on each one of these?
It
Okay,
does.
and so that brings the balance
It
together.
does.
And whatever your body needs, it's going to know?
It's going to send it there.
Okay.
Because the body's smarter than us sometimes. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Let's say it's smarter than us all the time.
So let's say you take CBD in the morning,
Nature's got it.
you might feel more focused and calm. And you take CBD at night, and you might feel more relaxed and sleepy, because your body's gonna send it to where you need to send it. So if you take it in the morning, and you're driving, and you're worried like, oh, I can't take it because it might make me sleepy, well, actually, the body cycles in certain ways throughout the day, and typically, it will make you more alert in the morning, but it'll make you more relaxed and sleepy at night, because that's the body's natural rhythm, and it's just going to enhance what the body wants to do.
Question for somebody else. Why you take it in on the tongue, under the tongue?
So here's something to know. Have you ever looked at your tongue?
Yes.
Have you ever seen like the really big veins and arteries under your tongue? That little thin layer of skin The CBD can actually be absorbed through it almost instantaneously, not quite, but almost, and get right into your blood system, which goes right to your brain, your heart, your lungs. I mean, that's where the body wants to send super important nutrition first. So when the body starts repairing, it's always going to pick heart, lungs, and brain first. So if you have an issue on your foot, once the heart, lungs, and brain are taken care of, then the body will address the issue on the foot. So sometimes I have people who says, I got this thing here,
It doesn't do any good.
and it's, I've taken it for 3 days and it hasn't done anything yet. But, oh wow, I sleep better and I breathe better. Isn't that interesting? The body's gonna say, my highest priority to keep the body healthy is here, here, and here.
Well, if you
Not
sleep,
here.
if you sleep better, you're gonna heal
You're
quicker.
gonna heal better, right? So sometimes it's about educating people that what their expectations are has to line up with what the body's priorities are. So by saying, okay, I have something going on, if it's a heart, lung, or head issue, you might see it within a day, within 2 days. If it's something going on in your feet, it might be a while. So part of it is, managing expectations, that the body's gonna first send it to where the body needs it the most.
Now, what's the quantity recommended? The minimum,
It depends what you're
maximum.
working on.
okay?
It depends what you're, so if it's something physical, like, let's say that your lungs need healing,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna take a lot more than, let's say, I just need to calm down so I can sleep for the night. The dosage is different. So what's great is you can take, so you have two theories, and I'm sorry, I'll get to what your
Yeah,
question
that's
is.
fine.
So you have two theories. Some say you should front load and take extra to start, and others say take a teeny bit and work up.
Build it.
I think it depends on the person and their personality. I mean, I have some people who say, I just want a Brillo pad and, just scrub everything off. Well, they have a much different reaction in the first couple of days than somebody who says, I'm just gonna take a drop in the morning, and then on day 2, I'll take a drop in the morning and a drop at night. So the person who's just taking a drop, they're gonna ease into whatever it is they're trying to do, where the person who says, I'm gonna take, 5 drops in the morning and 5 drops at lunch and 5 drops with a snack and 5 drops, before I go to bed. They're gonna have a way different, and that person who takes that much has a potential of having what's called a Herxheimer's reaction. So a Herxheimer's reaction is also called a healing crisis. I hate that name because the body's doing something that's cleaning it, as opposed to a true crisis. So a disease, if you have a disease, you're getting sicker. If you are cleaning out, you're actually getting healthier. So it feels like the same, but it's in a different direction. So Dr. Herxheimer was a German physician, and so there's something called Herx. Sometimes they say Herxing, Herx, but Dr. Herxheimer was a German physician, and he found a very interesting phenomenon that, say you had the flu. If you have the flu, what do you feel like? You feel like crap. You got a headache. You want to throw up. Maybe you're running to the bathroom. You're sleepy. You don't want light. Everything hurts. You just want to go to bed and stay in bed for the rest of the day. That's with the flu. You are overcoming actually a virus die-off, and that virus die-off is toxic. So by having this Herxheimer reaction, your body's actually cleaning out from the viral toxins. Let's say you drink too much. What do you feel? Your head hurts. You want to throw up. You want to just go in a dark room, sleep. What's your body? It's alcohol poisoning. Your body's too toxic. It has that's some food poisoning. How do you feel with food poisoning? Your head hurts. You want to throw up. Trip to the bathroom. You want to go to bed and sleep. So what can happen is if you have toxins that have accumulated, if you have had, we'll just call it, for lack of, body sludge that your system hasn't cleaned out, sometimes if you take too much, you will have a cleaning out process. You would be one to be concern for that. So people with intestinal issues, because there might be crud, I know, not a scientific term, but issues in the digestive system that might need cleaning out. So the more sensitive or the more fragile a person is, the slower they want to ease into it, because they want to get their system strong enough to start actually running. You first walk before you run. The people who've been running can do bigger doses and find benefit that way without feeling bad first. Thoughts, questions, reactions? No one's fled the room yet, so I think I'm doing okay.
And I did start out low,
Good,
yeah,
Good.
real low.
good.
And then I started increasing, that's why I wondered about doses, because you were answering these questions.
Good, good, good.
Yeah.
How about you guys?
I didn't touch my water.
Are you terrified yet?
I didn't touch it.
How about you guys? You good? Y'all? Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. 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 A little bit spread out is a little bit easier on your system. Yep. Ideas, thoughts, comments? Questions, concerns? Okay.